Anyone can be wealthy. Let me say that again. Anyone can be wealthy. So why aren't you? You know what's fascinating? Most people believe wealth is something mysterious, something reserved for the lucky or the connected. But here's the truth, wealth isn't magic. It's mathematics. It's the natural consequence of doing a handful of simple fundamentals consistently, things that are easy to do, but just as easy not to do. Today we're going to talk about something crucial, the set of your sail. You see, the same wind blows on all of us. The economy, the marketplace, the opportunities, they are there for everyone. But only those who set their sails differently arrive at a different destination. Why aren't you wealthy yet? Here's what I've discovered. You're probably operating at about 20% of your actual capacity. 20%. Think about that. You have 80% more potential sitting dormant inside you right now. You know what's incredible? Most people spend more time planning their next vacation than designing their financial future. They'll research hotels for hours but won't invest 30 minutes into a plan that could change their entire life. Isn't that stunning? But you're different. You're here because something inside you knows, it's time. Let me ask you something. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, where will you be 6 months from today? Same income? Same limitations? Same excuses? Because here's what most people don't realize. What you don't change, you choose. The wind is blowing. The question is, how will you set your sail? Here's what you need to understand about wealth. It's not complicated, but it is profound. The same economic winds blow on all of us, recessions, opportunities, market conditions. They affect everyone equally. But while some people struggle paycheck to paycheck, others build empires in the exact same economy. What's the difference? It's not the wind. It's the set of the sail. You see, you can't control the wind. You can't control interest rates, inflation, or what's happening in Washington. But you absolutely can control how you position yourself. That's the sail. And that sail is made up of your philosophy, your decisions, your daily disciplines. Let me tell you something that changed my life. For things to change, you must change. Not the economy. Not your boss. Not the government. You. Because it's not what happens that determines your wealth. It's what you do about what happens. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the wind to shift in their favor. They are waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, the big break. But wealthy people, they understand that opportunity is always present. They just set their sails to catch it. Think about two boats leaving the same harbor, facing the same wind. One arrives at a tropical paradise. The other ends up lost at sea. Same wind, different destination. Why? The set of the sail. So here's your first breakthrough. Stop asking for an easier wind. Start learning to set a better sail. Because wealth isn't about what's happening around you, it's about what's happening within you. Your philosophy, your approach, your standards. That's what determines where you'll dock 6 months from now. The wind is already blowing. Now let's adjust your sail. Now let me tell you about the most expensive mistake you're making right now. You're operating at roughly 20% of your actual capacity. 20%. And here's what's tragic, you don't even know it. Why do most people live at a fraction of their potential? Because they compare themselves to people around them who are also operating at 20%. You look at your coworkers, your neighbors, your friends, and you think, I'm doing fine. I'm about average. And that's exactly the problem. You've accepted average as your standard. But here's what I've discovered. You're capable of so much more. The question is, are you willing to make what I call the commitment to excellence? Excellence isn't complicated. It's simply refusing to accept your current performance as your limit. It's looking at what you did yesterday and asking, can I do better today? Not dramatically better, just better. You see, most people underestimate their own potential while overestimating the competition. They think successful people have some secret advantage, some special talent they don't possess. But wealthy people aren't special, they just refuse to settle for 20%. Let me ask you something. What would happen if you operated at just 40% of your capacity instead of 20%? You'd double your results. What about 60%? You'd triple them. And you wouldn't have to work 3 times harder. You'd just have to eliminate the habits that keep you trapped. The 20% trap is comfortable. It's familiar. Everyone around you lives there. But comfort is the enemy of wealth. Excellence requires you to raise your standards, not just once, but every single day. So here's your second breakthrough. Stop comparing yourself to average people. Start measuring yourself against your own potential. Because the moment you commit to excellence, you break free from the trap that holds everyone else hostage. Average is easy. Excellence is a choice. Here's a principle that will change everything for you. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Let me say that again because most people miss this completely. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. You see, if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. That's not just clever wordplay. That's the fundamental difference between those who struggle and those who prosper. Most people have it backwards. They spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day working on their job, building someone else's dream, making someone else rich. But they won't invest 30 minutes working on themselves. They won't read a book. They won't listen to something educational. They won't challenge their own thinking. Your income rarely exceeds your personal development. Think about that. If you want to earn more, you must learn more. If you want to have more, you must become more. Because here's what happens when you focus on personal development. You don't chase success, you attract it. Success isn't something you pursue. Success is something you become worthy of. And you become worthy of it by investing in yourself, by growing, by developing skills and wisdom that make you valuable to the marketplace. Let me ask you, what are you doing every single day to improve? What book are you reading? What skill are you developing? What mentor are you learning from? Because 6 months from now, you won't be in a different place financially unless you're in a different place personally. Personal development is the currency of the wealthy. While average people invest their time in entertainment and distraction, successful people invest their time in education and growth. They understand that becoming more valuable is the shortcut to earning more value. So here's your third breakthrough. Stop working just on your job. Start working on yourself. Because the better you become, the better your life becomes. Income follows personal development like night follows day. Let me tell you something they don't teach you in school. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. That's one of the most important distinctions you'll ever learn. Now, I'm not against formal education. College, degrees, certifications, they have their place. They can help you get a job, earn a salary, pay your bills. But if you want to build real wealth, if you want financial freedom, you need something more. You need self-education. Self-education is what separates the wealthy from the average. It's books, it's seminars, it's mentors, it's investing in your own growth outside the classroom, beyond the degree, after everyone else has stopped learning. Here's what I've discovered. Successful people are readers. They are learners. They are constantly feeding their minds with new ideas, new strategies, new perspectives. While everyone else is watching television 3 hours a night, wealthy people are reading, studying, growing. A book is the most affordable way to sit at the feet of a genius. For $20, you can download decades of someone's wisdom directly into your brain. That's not an expense. That's the best investment you'll ever make. But most people won't read even one book this year. They'll complain about their circumstances, blame the economy, make excuses. But they won't invest 30 minutes a day in their own education. Isn't that fascinating? Let me ask you, when was the last time you read a book that changed your thinking? When did you last attend a seminar, hire a coach, or seek out a mentor? Because here's the truth, if you're not growing, you're dying. There's no middle ground. The wealthy understand something profound. Knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. Every book you read, every lesson you learn, every mentor you follow adds to your value. And your value determines your income. So here's your fourth breakthrough. Become a student of success. Make self-education your obsession. Fortunes are built in libraries, not just boardrooms. Now here's a law that governs all wealth creation. To have more, you must become more. You can't wish for things to get better, you must get better. You can't demand more from the marketplace until you bring more to the marketplace. This is what I call the law of contribution. Your income is directly proportional to the value you contribute. Not the hours you work. Not the effort you expend. The value you deliver. Most people have this backwards. They think, pay me more, then I'll do more. But that's not how wealth works. Wealthy people understand you must do more first, become more first, contribute more first, and then the money follows. Always in that order. Let me give you a simple formula. Income equals value. If you want to increase your income, increase your value to the marketplace. Make yourself more skilled, more knowledgeable, more reliable, more creative, more indispensable. The marketplace rewards value. It doesn't care about your bills, your needs, your desires. It only cares about what you bring to the table. So if you're not earning what you want, ask yourself, am I bringing enough value? Here's what's powerful about this principle. You have complete control over your value. You can't control the economy, but you can control your skills. You can't control your boss, but you can control your expertise. You can't control opportunities, but you can control your readiness when opportunity appears. Think about it this way. If you doubled your value to your employer, your clients, your customers, could they afford not to pay you more? If you became twice as productive, twice as innovative, twice as valuable, wouldn't your income naturally increase? For things to change, you must change. For things to get better, you must get better. That's not philosophy, that's economics. The marketplace pays for value, and your value is something you build every single day. So here's your fifth breakthrough. Stop asking what the world can do for you. Start asking what you can do for the world. Contribution creates compensation. Here's a question that will expose everything. Are you trying to get through the day, or are you trying to get from the day? Think about that carefully, because your answer reveals your financial future. Most people wake up every morning with one goal: survival. Get through the day. Make it to Friday. Survive until vacation. That's their standard. And here's what's fascinating. Life will meet you at the level of your expectations. If your standard is just to get by, you'll get by. If your standard is to survive, you'll survive. But you'll never thrive. You'll never prosper. You'll never build wealth. Because wealth doesn't come to those who are simply enduring life, it comes to those who are extracting value from life. Wealthy people don't ask, how can I make it through today? They ask, what can I gain from today? What can I learn? Who can I meet? What value can I create? How can I grow? They are not getting through the day, they are getting from the day. This is about raising your standards. Not just your financial standards, but your personal standards, your professional standards, your daily standards. Because your outer world will always reflect your inner standards. Let me ask you, what do you expect from yourself? Do you expect excellence or adequacy? Do you expect growth or maintenance? Do you expect progress or procrastination? Here's what I've learned. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. Your goals might be ambitious, but if your standards are mediocre, your results will be mediocre. The wealthy have wealthy standards. They expect more from themselves. They demand more from their time. They require more from their efforts. And because they expect more, they receive more. So here's your sixth breakthrough. Stop settling for survival. Raise your standards. Start extracting everything you can from every day. Each day is either an investment or an expense. Your standards determine which. Now let me share with you what I call the miracle of incrementalism. This is the secret that makes transformation possible. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to get 1% better every single day. 1%. That's it. Not 50%. Not even 10%. Just 1% improvement daily. Seems insignificant, doesn't it? But here's where mathematics becomes magical. If you improve by just 1% every day for 180 days, you won't be 180% better. You'll be exponentially better. That's the power of compound interest, and it doesn't just apply to money. It applies to everything: your skills, your knowledge, your habits, your value. Most people fail because they try to transform overnight. They want instant results, immediate success, rapid change. But transformation doesn't work that way. Transformation is the result of small, consistent improvements compounded over time. Think about it. What if you read just 10 pages a day? In 6 months, that's 10 books. What if you improved one skill by 1% daily? In 6 months, you'd be unrecognizable. What if you increased your productivity by just 1% each day? Your output would multiply. The wealthy understand this principle deeply. They are not looking for home runs, they are playing for consistent singles and doubles. They know that small disciplines repeated daily create extraordinary results. But here's the flip side. Small errors in judgment repeated daily also compound. Missing one workout seems harmless, but miss it every day for 6 months. You've compounded failure. Skipping one day of reading seems insignificant, but skip it for 180 days? You've lost 10 books worth of wisdom. You're compounding something right now, either success or failure. Your daily habits are either building wealth or building debt, creating value or creating mediocrity. So here's your 7th breakthrough. Stop looking for the big break. Start building the small habit. Because 1% daily improvement is the compound interest that builds fortunes. Small hinges swing big doors. Here's something I've noticed about wealthy people. They make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Average people, they do the exact opposite. They make decisions slowly and change them quickly. And that difference costs them everything. Think about the last major decision you faced. How long did you deliberate? How many people did you consult? How much time did you waste going back and forth, paralyzed by uncertainty? Indecision is expensive. While you're thinking about it, considering it, researching it, waiting for the perfect moment, opportunity passes you by. The wealthy understand that a good decision made today is better than a perfect decision made never. But here's the other side of this principle. Once they decide, they commit. They don't second-guess themselves every week. They don't abandon ship at the first sign of difficulty. They make the decision, then they make the decision right through persistence and adjustment. Most people reverse this completely. They procrastinate on decisions for months, then change their minds at the first obstacle. They finally commit to a business, then quit after 3 weeks. They decide to transform their life, then give up when it gets hard. Your tomorrow is being shaped by the decisions you make today, not the decisions you think about, not the decisions you're planning to make, the actual decisions you execute right now. Let me ask you, what decision have you been avoiding? What opportunity are you overthinking? What change have you been postponing until conditions are perfect? Here's what the wealthy know. Conditions will never be perfect. There will always be reasons to wait, excuses to delay, fears to overcome. But winners decide anyway. They gather enough information to be informed, then they pull the trigger. Decisiveness is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. The more decisions you make, the better you become at making them. So here's your 8th breakthrough. Stop waiting. Make the decision. Then commit to making it work. Action creates clarity. Clarity doesn't create action. So here we are. You've learned the principles. You understand the philosophy. Now comes the moment of truth. Will you design your future, or will you just let it happen? Because here's what I know about you. 6 months from today, you'll arrive somewhere. The question is, where? Will you arrive at the same place with the same problems and the same excuses? Or will you arrive at a new destination with new opportunities and new possibilities? Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And change doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. You must design your future deliberately, intentionally, specifically. Most people stumble through life reacting to circumstances, responding to crises, making it up as they go. They have no plan, no vision, no design. And then they wonder why they keep ending up in the same place year after year. But you're different. You've stayed with me through these principles because something inside you knows it's time. Time to stop planning vacations and start designing your life. Time to stop making excuses and start taking action. Time to stop living at 20% and start reaching for 100%. The story of your life is being written right now. Not 6 months from now. Not when conditions are perfect. Right now. In this moment, with the decision you're about to make. Will it be the story of procrastination and regret? Or will it be the story of transformation and triumph? Will it be the story of someone who knew what to do but didn't do it? Or the story of someone who decided enough was enough and changed everything? Remember, anyone can be wealthy. The principles are simple. The fundamentals are easy to do, but they are also easy not to do. The wind is blowing. Your sail is ready. The only question left is, will you set it? Your 6-month transformation begins the moment you decide it does. Design your future. Starting now.